These are the encounters of Saint Natalia from the USA, who has met the bondservant of Christ John multiple times in the realms. From precise divine instructions to supernatural protection and guidance, she shares her astonishing journey. Watch her testify to what she saw and heard.
My name is Saint Natalia Winter, and I am from the U.S., and I live in New York with my family. The very first time I heard of Pastor John, like many others, I didn't know who he was. My mother used to play him in her bedroom on her phone. I would always hear this sound, this tone of a man that had like this urgency in his voice that was very commanding. His tone, it pulls you, you know, like it pricks you. He almost gets you fired up too. And I heard his voice, but I never saw his face. I never saw him online just yet. I would always hear him playing from her room or her phone. And one day I got a dream while I was at work that I was in his church. I saw the carpeting. I was in front of the church, standing alongside him. Everyone was in all white, and we were wearing the Jewish shawl, the tallis. He was teaching me how to decode tongues or to interpret tongues. And at the time, I didn't speak a single tongue, so I didn't know what he was trying to do. But as he's speaking to me in the tongue, I have a mic in my hand, and I'm telling the church what he's saying in tongues. And I didn't understand it. I woke up from that vision, and I didn't understand it. So I asked my mother, and I'm like, Mom, I don't really know what this means. And she was just, trying to explain it to me. From that moment, I would constantly dream Papa John in the realms, always. He's protecting me. He's fighting for me. Or he'd be like monitoring my environment, where he's standing with that very militant stare, that face, and he's just kind of, looking around, and he's staring. And that's how it started in the beginning. And his presence became very progressive. So at first he would just kind of stare and look around in my environment in the realms. And then slowly he became more active with me. I would dream him in his suits, his sleeves would be rolled up. And I'd even see him fighting for me, taking down strongmen, these giants. And I'm behind him, like taunting the devil, like, yeah, and stuff like that. So this particular dream that I did have, fast forward to present day, I got a dream that my family and I, we were standing on one side of the street, and Papa John was on the other side. And the street is a bit of a slope, so it's kind of like a hill. And we were walking together, and I didn't notice him. And then I looked, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Papa, how are you? And he's seen me, and he called to me. He's like, hey, why don't you come? And I was like, no, Papa, I'm gonna see you in August. It's all right. And he insisted in the dream. He kept insisting. He said, no, come talk, let's talk. And so something about it felt urgent, so I obliged, I obeyed in the vision. And he took me back to where he was to counsel me, and we were having a conversation. And this is the first time, I'm having a conversation with Papa in the realm, so I'm excited, I'm excited. And I'm telling him everything. And so I was thanking him for his leadership in being a father in the spirit to me. And it meant a lot to me, because I didn't realize that God was softening my heart towards him, because I was very resistant. I was very closed off. I don't trust him very easily. So I kept seeing him, and it was to get me familiar with his movement, And this was the first time I was actually having a conversation with him in the realms, and so. That was around, I want to say July. So when I got that dream, I asked my mother about it, because she is a minister of the word. So I'm like, Ma, I don't know what this means. I just want some clarity, because I don't know why I would tell him August, like I gave a specific time frame. I know he does baptisms in December. I was anticipating coming in December. I'm saving for December. August, why August? And so she was like, well, there's a conference being held in August, so maybe you need to be there. And I'm like, all right, well, okay, let me just pray about it. So I started praying about it. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And I said, God, if if I'm supposed to be there, just give me one. I just want one confirmation, and I will obey. So about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, my mother got this dream that I bought tickets for me and my brother to attend the conference. And I was like, well, that's it. I told God that I would obey, so I'm gonna do it. I'm about to tickets. And, she preceded me. She went ahead about, I want to say roughly about 2 weeks ahead of me. And then I follow up, I met up with her here in Cape Town. He and we traveled 22 hours just to come and see the men of God and to be, in this space, in this prepared space, for people to really encounter God. And it was just incredible. The first day, the evening service, he was speaking on, some of you are going to have to go through fire. Some of you are going to have to go through the process of fire. And as I was praying and I was roaring, I saw a vision of a door that was lit on fire, and the flames was so bright. It was so bright. It was like bright red, orange, bright flames, but it was closed. And even the doorpost, it was like triangular post that was planted on the side of the door that was on fire, and it's zooming in to me. It's like coming closer towards me. And I'm like, oh man, I know what that means. So now I'm just like, okay, we're just gonna have to do it. And so the second day, I got another vision. It was very quick also, of just being in the woods. Same thing, but instead this time it was daytime, so I could actually see the environment. When I saw the door on fire, it was just dark. It was like in the middle of the night, like just pitch black. But I could see the silhouette of woodsy trees, like tree stalks and everything. But yeah, this time I seen, just woods. So, I took that as, a wilderness experience maybe approaching, because it was doing the same thing, was kind of zooming in very slowly to me. Third service, we're listening to the man of God, and he's saying, some of you are about to receive eyes. There's at least 200 of you that's going to receive eyes.
And I saw 200 names. You should receive eyes to see. Eyes to see. Eyes to see. Eyes.
And so, I'm in the Spirit. I'm, praying in tongues, and I'm trying to, be sensitive to the Holy Spirit. And I just started feeling this heaviness. Oh my goodness, this heaviness, this weight. And I'm like, I'm kind of trying to fight it, because I'm like, oh goodness, I'm gonna end up on the floor. I kept feeling this weight, and I just fell back. I completely fell back. I couldn't hold myself up anymore. My legs got very weak. My body just felt very weak. I went down, and I could feel, the ushers picking me up and moving me. And I just started reacting. I just started going off about, what he was saying, shaking. And in that moment, I was getting so many different visions quickly. It was coming so fast. And the first thing I saw was these clouds, the way an eagle swoops down when it sees a prey with force, very quickly, with a lot of force. I saw myself shot up in the sky, and it was like rocket, and I just see these clouds, the sky and the clouds, and then I went into another vision, and I saw the D Realms Training Center, what looked like the building, because Papa's been showing us like the outside of the structure, and so it looked like there's children in some of the classrooms, like he's even going to teach children about the realms. And I saw famous like African actresses in the class. I'm just like, oh my goodness, he's gonna have everybody in this training center. It's amazing. And I love that for him. I love that they're gonna know about this. It deserves to be everywhere, what he's doing. And after I saw, because I was standing in the building and I'm looking at the children, and there were so many different races of children. There was every kind of race of child in the classroom. Oh man, it was so beautiful. I was so happy for him. And then in another vision, I saw buildings underwater, and I could see the silhouette, the water, the way the waves of water, but it's very shallow. It's not deep. It's not deeply buried. But I'm looking up through the water, but I see buildings in the water, like in the sea. And but not that deep, like about 5 feet under it. I see it. And another vision came, and then I saw myself fighting with a sword, just fighting. Another vision came. I saw this very long river with these beautiful big rocks, and it's just flowing. These rivers, it's just river, and the water is like, it's like unlike anything you've ever seen. It's so untainted. It looked so pure. Flowers that you've never even seen on earth, butterflies, birds that you've never even seen. And as soon as I'm really trying to focus on what I'm looking at, I seen this eagle, and that eagle's wingspan was so big, and it flew right over my body. It just came and just swooped, and it just flew. Just being free, just flew right over me. While I was laying on the floor, I could feel like this burning sensation in my stomach. And I still felt a lot of weight on my body. I feel it even now, just weight, and like a bird in my stomach. And then I hear Papa John saying, rivers of living water is gonna flow through you guys. And I'm like, okay, I connected to that. That's the understanding that I got for that vision. And and then I was trying to get up off the floor, and it was like every time I got up, I fell right back down. Every time I got about maybe a foot off the ground, I picked my head up, slayed again. Tried to pick my head up, got slayed again, until I felt like I was the last one who got off the stage, and I was able to, manage, to get back to like my seat. And then that was pretty much it. And then, shortly after, it was almost like every other week, I was getting dreams with him, just present. He was preaching in a church that my mother used to attend, and he pulled me out of the pew, and he even told me, he's like, God is ministering to me about your marriage. And he said, God is ministering to me about your marriage. And he looked up into the ceiling, and he held the mic, and he's looking around, and he took a second, and he goes, would the husband for this woman walk out? Like I didn't know my husband was in the same conference with me presently in that dream. And no one presented themselves just yet. And he started a countdown. He said 5, 4, 3. So with so much authority. And I'm looking at him. I'm so busy looking at him, because I'm like, who's going to walk out in just 5 seconds to the front of the church? And surely enough, a man was standing there, and I was like, oh my goodness, there's really a man standing there. And I couldn't see his face. I heard his name, and I see him in white, in a white suit, in a white, like it looks like a white tux. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. And then I woke up, and that was it. And I wrote the dream down just so I could write it down and make it plain. God's grace, and just so many other dreams with him protecting me. He and I are standing on a white platform, and there is a giant that looked weird, looks like a beastly thing. It looked pale. It had long fingers. It had long nails. It had long limbs. And it was an ugly creature. It was just ugly, and it looked skinless. But it was skinless, but it was clothed. And this was before I could even speak tongues. I'm in the dream speaking something to what looks like a strong man, and I'm speaking, and I'm a fight. I'm gonna fight. So I'm in the dream fighting, and I'm speaking something to this creature, and Papa shows up. I feel his presence show up, and he appears, and he just comes up from behind me and stands in front of me and begins to, deal with this creature for me and protect me. Protected me a lot. Every time I see him, he shows up with his sleeves rolled up like he's ready, and he's protected me all the time. And I'm just so grateful for his heart. I'm grateful for his family. I'm grateful for this ministry. I'm grateful for his movement, this move of God that he's doing. I'm grateful that he obeys the call of God. I'm grateful for it. Very grateful.